The problem is, if you don't see it, you don't believe it. People don't know your story. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears. They don't know what it took to get through COVID. They don't know what it takes to make payroll. They don't know what it takes to make the sandwich. You need to tell them. You need to become a reality show. So before we get started, I want to hit on two things. So I might have glossed over this a little yesterday. The book Vivid Vision is what you should buy. It's a guy named Cameron Herold. He took a company called 1-800-GOT-JUNK from 2 million to 100 million in like 5 years. The idea behind what he did was he created a 3-year look ahead. This right here is written as if it's May 17th, 2027. It's when that's my birthday, May 17th. That's why I did it. We used to always have other dates and I would forget the date. I'm like, well, I don't forget my damn birthday. So there we go. This is written as if it's then. And why this is important is that your team members need to know what the opportunity is and where you're going. It's almost like if I was gonna leave here, bless you, if I was gonna leave here and drive back to Kentucky, I'm not that fucking smart. I would need a really good map and turn-by-turn directions. Business is the same way. And what's also really cool about this is this gives your team clarity on what they can do. We were just talking about how she included her team in on building future stuff, and they start thinking differently. Anybody remember Tim Tebow that played in the NFL and played in college football? Hell of a quarterback in college. Could have been a hell of a quarterback in the NFL. Urban Meyer used him for being a quarterback at Florida. Didn't prepare him for the NFL. Had he prepared him for the NFL, Tim Tebow would have been an NFL player for 10 to 15 years. The guy was a beast. What thing with this gives you the ability to include your team, because one thing you also need to keep in mind, and I've said this and people think I'm crazy, and Peter teared up a minute ago when I said this, all of your employees, Peter's not gonna work for you the next 30 years. He should get better job opportunities in the next 5 to 10 years. And here's a two-pronged advantage of that. I'm preparing Peter with what he learns from me every day at my company to dominate somewhere else. The good news is, if I keep preparing him, fucker might buy me out in 10 years. So when you give tools like this to your team and you show them other opportunities, when you show them that you don't just think of them as a guy making burritos on the line, that you believe in them as a person and a thinker, and you start arming them with education and vision, they will start doing it. Because I can promise you, if Urban Meyer would have spent time making Tim Tebow an NFL caliber quarterback, a buddy of mine's son is in the NFL. His name's Axel Hoyer, his son is Brian Hoyer. He's like, Matt, there's no way that he couldn't have fixed his throwing motion in 4 years in college. Had he done that, Tim would have been still winning championships at Florida and would have won them in the NFL. And that would have made Florida a better team as well. So when you invest in your people with something like this, that they see that I don't just work at a pizza restaurant, that I don't just work at a burrito joint, that I work somewhere that's going somewhere, I can be a part of it. And then what's the word I'm looking for? You make them want to educate themselves, make them want to get better. Like I got in there some things that are huge. And my team's like, is that even possible? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out. And within about a month, one of the things that was in there that we didn't know was possible, one of my employees who's lower on the rung came back with the answer. And I was like, oh shit. So give your people the tools and the vision to do some cool shit. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I got some prizes up here because I practice what I preach. I've got some food socks, I've got some tripods, I've got some books, and I've got some money. Who in here would love $1? Only a couple of you broke ass people would take, no, I'm just kidding. But who in here would love $100? Pretty much everybody. So what I'm going to talk about today is some things in your marketing that you can do that'll make people feel stupid for saying no. And I've got some examples to show you where these people didn't make me feel too stupid for saying no, or at least wouldn't. So before we get started, I'm going to walk through this really quick because I'm told that if you don't try to help people work with you, then they'll probably never work with you. If you've got badass pizza and you don't tell people you have badass pizza, they might not try it. We have launched the program. When you go there and scan, and I made a URL because the ultimaterestaurantmarketingplan.com was a new URL, which is why some of you got an error yesterday because it wasn't warmed up yet. But if you go to MattPlap, oh fuck, I messed that up. It's mattplap.live/URMP, .live/URMP. You can go to that link. So scan that, go and enter. Here's what we're doing. This is something we're doing for the first time ever. So 7 years ago, I had an online training where for $100 a month, restaurant owners got trained. Oddly enough, one of the gentlemen that was in that is Shaheen Kazemi in the back there. He works for me. He's our director of sales. Shaheen was a client of ours for 7 years, and he was a restaurant owner for 28 years, owned 2 badass concepts in downtown Cincinnati. We did online education for restaurants, $100 a month. Every month we built a different module, and the goal was that by the end of the year, if you run half as fast as Matt Plapp, you're half as smart as me, and you do half the shit I tell you, you'll be 10 steps ahead of your competitors. We did it. It did really well. For whatever reason, 2019-20 came along. I thought restaurant owners didn't want to read shit, study shit, take things on their own. We canceled it and went away from it. And I realized this past year that we should still be doing it. And so we've relaunched. That's where it comes from. You are Matt Plapp. We've relaunched it, and it starts here in a couple weeks. And so I wanted to walk you through this and give you an idea, because when you register, there's a page on there that's like $99 a month or $700 up front, and talk to you what the training is. Because a lot of what I'm going to teach you today, you should have companies helping you, but there's also a lot of you that can do this shit on your own. Matt Plapp was the video guy 8 years ago. Matt Plapp edited every single video. Matt Plapp did every single thing in my entire company at one point, just like all of you can and probably do. But I also now have grown. I was a 1-person operation 10 years ago. I was a 2-person operation 8 years ago. And it went to 4, then 8, then 12. Now it's 49 and a handful of contractors. So a lot of what we are teaching in this program is, if I owned your restaurant, if I was you, this is the shit that I would do every single day. And the reason we built it how we have is because, like I say, you can't eat an elephant you got to eat it one bite at a time. You can't eat an elephant all one bite. So what we've done is we're doing this every month. It's a different topic for 12 months. And my team, some of the people on here, you can see Shaheen in the middle, 28 years. Ashley, the blonde on the right, is the vice president of our company, Driver. She's been with me for 13 years now. She has built more Facebook and Instagram ads for restaurants than anybody in the world. Promise you. We've heard that from Facebook. David Slaughter, marketing director, Brooke and Tanner, coach people. Lisa, we call the content queen on the far left. And then we got Tom there, who's the automation expert. I could call Tom right now and say, hey, dude, what if we did this and this fired this email, this text, added it to our database, invoiced them, and he'd go, well, it's not possible, but let me look, and in 10 minutes later, you'd have it done. There's a lot of things you could be doing in your restaurant to automate little things. So what we're doing is, the idea is that every single month, there is going to be a different topic so you can build your house. I go back to this, I'll never forget this day, was when I got into working out at a big level. I was a college football player. 10 years after college, I was running up my stairs at my house and I had man boobs. I called my buddy who owned a gym. I'm like, dude, there's like something shaking on my chest here. What's going on? He's like, it's because you eat like shit and you don't work out hard enough. What do I do? He's like, we just launched this class called CrossFit. Come check it out. I'm like, cool. Went and checked it out. Long story short, about 6 months into this, I had started to make progress. Matt walks up and goes, okay, 2 choices. Get rid of the Coke, get rid of the taffy. Because at that point, this isn't a lie, my pre-workout when I went to the gym in 2010 was a cherry Laffy Taffy and a bottle of Coke. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with this? He's like, are you kidding me? Are you an idiot? I go, apparently. He's like, Matt, you can't eat or drink this shit ever, especially walking into a gym. I go, why didn't you tell me this 6 months ago? He said, because 6 months ago, you weren't walking in here with the right level of intensity. I knew if I told you when you walked in here, you got to run, you got to stretch, you got to meditate, you got to sleep better, you got to have breathing treatment, you got to lift, you got to do Olympic lifting, you got to do cardiovascular stuff, you got to eat right, you got to drink right. You wouldn't do any of it. He's like, but you've proven to come 3 days a week, pretty hardcore the last 6 months. Now choose one. I'm like, oh shit. I said, okay, I'll get rid of the Coke. He's like, cool. Just know in 3 months the taffy's gone. And 3 months after that, you're going to be running. And I can tell you, like, here I am now at 48. My goal was to be able to exercise and have fun with my kids as an adult. And the other day, I beat my kids' friends in a 40-yard dash at 48 years old. None of that would have happened if I'd have tried to do it all at once. So I tell you all that, and that none of you are able to do all of this shit all at once. You know, there's a guy named Avery Ward who's got a couple of his team here at Little Italy Pizza, Restaurante now. When I met Avery 3 years ago, his social media was an absolute disaster. It was the same 3 pictures, reposted everything. I can picture the one that's got a combo with Mountain Dew and Pepsi in it. And he sucked at it. And he went to open his first restaurant, his new location, and he made a post with him and his dad. His dad was holding him. Little kid in the kitchen. You remember that picture, right? In the kitchen. And he put like 2 sentences. I called him up and said, dude, that is the biggest bullshit Facebook post. What? You said like have a story, emotion. I'm like, I think you and your dad inside that kitchen 30 years ago or whatever it was deserves more than 1 sentence. Write 20 sentences. Put your heart on paper. He did it. It blew up. If you look at Avery today, the guy is like a Matt Plapp clone but owns a restaurant. That didn't happen in 1 week or 1 month. It took me, I had to force him to hire his video guy. Like he was talking about this guy Nathan he met, and he called me up and he had all these like, well, what? I'm like, dude, quit being a sissy and hire him. Okay, and now he's killing it. So the reason we're doing this is that every month we're gonna help you. So like end of December, January, we're gonna have these sessions every week where we help the restaurants build the plan for 12 months. But they say if you don't plan, you plan to fail, don't plan or some shit like that. I'm not too smart to remember it. February, we're gonna go into how to get free attention, how to get free people, how to get eyeballs for free. When I was in radio in 1999, how much of the media you think you could do for your pizza joint back then was free? None. Radio, TV, direct mail, billboards, I mean, shit, you had to pay for everything. Today, it's all free. And the stuff that you pay for is useless. 75% of cable advertising is pharmaceutical ads right now. They're going out of business because Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are killing them. And then each month we're gonna go through a different thing so that by July, we reset, look at the year in August, pick up the last 3 months, and then start over. So if you're interested in this, it's something we're doing. It's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited about it. It's a passion project of mine. It's $99. I spent $350 to ship this jacket here, so obviously $99 isn't gonna help me pay for that until I get a bunch more of them. But it's not a big deal on our end. So what it also comes with too is the back end of it are 52 copy and paste campaigns. Emails, texts, all that kind of stuff. There's a holiday for everything nowadays. Social media, emails, text messages, so all those are in there. So last chance, we're gonna do this. So David texted me. I got 2 winners and then some runners up. David Slaughter, my marketing director, texted me the winners. Was I supposed to text in the start? Oh yeah, I was. So he texted me one of you. Let me tell him to give me the other one. Okay, I need both winners. So what he did was he's watching the people that registered yesterday and today. One person who registered yesterday is gonna get $100 cash, and one person that registered today is gonna get $100 cash. So yesterday, Brenda Wiesman from the Tavern Pizza. There we go, come get you a hundo. I did not know Obama was on the 100, by the way, so this might not be real. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And the next one, today's winner is Teresa Wolf from Embers. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Put it on black.
Put it all on black. I did that last night. I got down to $10 at the roulette table. I was going to bed. I'm like, I'm done. I had $10 on the table still. I put it on there, got 20. She's like, you gonna take it? I'm like, nah, fuck it. 40, screw it again, 80. I'm okay, I'm good. So I started with 100. I'm like, I only lost 20 for 2 hours of entertainment.
That's a win.
Okay, some runners up. These are for people honor system if you registered. Who in here sells cheeseburgers that registered? There you go. Just because I saw you first. There's some cheeseburger socks. Okay. Who in here, this is mushrooms, so who gets high, I guess. There we go, she was honest. Oh, she was behind you. Okay, coffee, who was my coffee shop? Well, you're not open yet. Donuts, you're close though. I can't wait to come have some coffee up there. Who sells beer? There we go. Then we got, I guess avocados would be Mexican restaurants. I think I have your attention, right? Who's been to an event where they've given out $100 cash? There you go, 1 or 2 of you. It's probably me, no, I'm just kidding. The socks, the tripods, the books, and by the way, I've got plenty of this shit at my house, at my office. If you want some, I didn't give it to you, tell me, I'll get it to you. My cell phone number, if you want to text me, and I'll send you whatever you want, 859-743-2408. 859-743-2408. And yes, I give that away on my podcast every day. And I answer questions all the time. So today's conversation is about attention. I just got your attention with some stories, with some bribes, and some good stuff. I want to help you eliminate hope and pray. That was what my trainer, Matt Gallister, did at the CrossFit gym 13 years ago. My hope and pray was I was hoping I'd get in shape by showing up at the gym, drinking a Coke and eating a taffy. Dustin here would tell you this like Arnold Schwarzenegger lookalike over here that probably doesn't work too often. So we're going to do that today in marketing. This first part, I want to walk through some things I highlighted in an article. I write an article right now for PMQ Magazine every week. It takes me about 7 hours to write it. I never realized how hard your brain can like almost overload writing something when you put your heart into it. But I wrote this article, this was I think 2 weeks ago, and it was, these items are hurting your marketing and sales. So these were my tools you must have to start. So before we get into the 5 funnels, I'm gonna walk through the tools that you must have to start, and a couple of these are going to be fucking obvious. You better have a point of sale. I say that, but Shaheen on a weekly basis talks to restaurants that don't have what, Shaheen? Point of sale. This is a guy that 28 years as a restaurant owner. I've known him for 20, and he never didn't have a point of sale. You have to upgrade your technology. Is there anybody in here, and have the balls raise your hand, that does not have a point of sale? One, please get it. It'll be the best investment you have. You have to understand what you're selling, how much you're selling it for, when you're selling it, who you're selling it to. The next part is a website. I talked to a restaurateur 2 weeks ago. He saw me somewhere, he texted me, Matt, I've heard I'm allowed to text you. If this is really you, I'd love to hear back. I texted him back a video from the hot tub, which I think freaked him out because I didn't have a shirt on. Different story, I'm not the smartest guy. But we started talking and he wanted marketing advice, so I called him up. And we got talking, I said, what's your website? Well, I don't have one yet. What? Like, what year is this? I built the website in 1999 and I was an idiot, had no tech background. But I knew in 1999 that if we wanted to start a boat dealership, we had to have a place people could look at our shit. I still can't figure out how I was that smart back then. Next is social media. There is not a platform that charges you. TikTok, I have a TikTok account. I go on it once every 2 months maybe. We post content on there. We do not create content for TikTok, but we post it there. Why? Because it's free. Peter and my son Cole. Peter coordinates my content, gets it created. My son Cole edits it and posts it. The only place we create content for is Instagram Reels and then YouTube, a long form video. But we post it everywhere. Why? Because it costs me nothing to post something on Twitter/X and LinkedIn. And even if 2 people and my mom see it, those 2 people are better than none. I had a friend of mine one day, we saw about social media, he was all depressed because he got no views. And I said, let me ask you a question. It was a restaurant owner. Man, I got like 100 views on every video. So I said, you'd be pissed if 100 people walked in your restaurant right now? Well, no, of course not. I'm like, then shut the fuck up. Because if those 100 people consistently watch, you will consistently brainwash them to come eat at your restaurant more often. Customer database software. You could probably view this as like Constant Contact. You know, one thing we're developing on our side, we bought a company called Repeat Returns a year ago. I had no clue what the hell I was buying with regards to software. David mentioned it earlier with how software's tough. It's kicked my ass the past 12 months. And I've got this vision for Driver, what it's going to become. We changed the name, we upgraded some stuff. But one thing I see in 3 years is that Driver becomes a full portal of a restaurant marketing platform where you store your data and then you use it for different reasons. But you have to have a place where you store your customer data. Next is a loyalty program. It only accounts for about 15 to 20% of your sales. Your best customers only account for 15 to 20% of your sales with regards to loyalty. But it's still a good number. I eat at restaurants. We don't cook at our house. My wife made chicken the other day. It's the first time she's used the oven in 2 months, she said, besides Thanksgiving. We eat out every meal. Why? Because you people know how to make food a hell of a lot better than me. But my loyalty programs I'm in at restaurants, I use a lot. So you need to have a loyalty program because your best customers are the ones who will buy your shit more often. I'm going to give you a story later on about Stein Masters. Next, 6 and 7 I did not include in the article because I didn't think thought it would go a little too deep. A customer acquisition program. There are 3 levers you can pull in any business to grow your revenue. Get new people, get the current people to buy shit more often, and then get the people that come in to spend more money when they come in. You have to have a way to acquire customers. Last but not least, help. We have our core values of our company: positive mindset, growth-oriented, and collaborative. Number 2, growth-oriented, is the most important for me. When I interview people, because everybody goes through me at some point, you get hired at my company to work for Matt Plapp. If you get hired by Matt Plapp to work for Matt Plapp, you then find a spot that might fit your skill set. The easiest way to get disqualified is to answer this question wrong. I ask, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching every day that is helping you become a better husband, a better father, a better worker? Guy about 6 months goes like, oh, I've never done any of that stuff. I'm like, hey man, I wish you all the best. What do you mean? If you're not working on you, you ain't gonna fucking work with me. And so have help. One place all of you can easily get help is mattplapp.com. Everything on there is free. I do a daily podcast. Peter, what did I do in bed last night? Podcast. I have a microphone to chat with. I'm on episode 810. I do a podcast every day. Guess who the audience is? Come on, participation. Who do you think the audience of my podcast is? Restaurants. That's all I do. It's restaurants. I write an article, a blog post for mattplapp.com every day since April 3rd. Sometimes they're deep as shit. Sometimes they're a line saying go listen to a podcast. But I can promise you they will be relevant to your business. I do a weekly video. This guy right here, Rick Rubin. It's my Rick Rubin. Every week he schedules it, tells me what I'm going to talk about. It's based off of my podcasts I've already done. He scripts it out. We do it. They are unbelievable. And it ain't because of me. I told you today, I'm like, dude, those videos are unbelievable. Like, you kill it. I just have to be the dumbass in front of the camera and talk about what you tell me to say. And then last but not least, 8 weeks ago, I started writing an article for PMQ Magazine. Yes, it is a pizza mag. Who in here doesn't sell pizza? Okay, read that and replace the word pizza with what do you sell?
Beer and food.
Beer. My book is Restaurant Marketing Secrets. I had a friend of mine wanted advice on marketing his retail business. I said, here's my book. That says restaurants. Change it to Retail Marketing Secrets. It's the same shit. Okay, clear on that? mattplapp.com, get help. And my cell phone, if you guys ever want to have a conversation, give me a call. Hit me up. I'm always one to answer questions. Don't care. Customer attention funnel. We're going to talk about the funnels today, but what you have to remember, attract, build, retain. My job in college was to attract Christy's attention. I did. The next step was building a relationship with her. And the final step was retaining her, and I think I succeeded because we're 29 years into our relationship. Same with your restaurants. If you consistently acquire people's attention for your restaurant and then don't do anything to keep them coming back, you will lose. There's a restaurant called Barleycorns in Northern Kentucky. My dad had them insured when I was a kid. He had an insurance business. He had a lot of restaurants. I have eaten at Barleycorns since the early 80s, probably an average of once a week. Would you believe me if I told you that my car stopped me eating there for 3 months? It was a fall of 2022. I had a business coach I was talking to, and he said, Matt, what fires you up? Like, what makes you guilty you're not working hard enough? I said, it's gonna sound funny about my car. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I shouldn't own a Lamborghini. I'm not that guy. It's like the ultimate short white guy, middle-age complex in midlife crisis. And he said, okay. I said, but when I drive it, it reminds me I need to quit being a little sissy and run harder. He goes, how often do you drive? I'm like, once every 2 weeks. He goes, drive every day. And by the way, real first world problem, there is a thing called Lambo leg. I had to roll out of a car one day. Like, my legs were so tired from driving it and going to the gym. But I drove it for 3 months. Here's why I'm telling you this. Not to say, oh, I had a Lambo. Who gives a shit? Anybody can buy anything. Is that when I would drive it to my office, I would get on the expressway so I could go 150 miles an hour because it was really fun. And I would go 3 exits and get to my office. You know what I quit driving past when I drove the Lambo to work? Barleycorns. My office is here. My house is here. Barleycorns is in the middle on US 42. When I got on the expressway to drive to my office, I stopped driving by Barleycorns. Flash forward 3 months, December of 2022, my daughter Paige comes home from college. Paige, your night, we're gonna go to dinner. Let's hit Barleycorns. I want some dock style wings. Let's do it. We go to Barleycorns. We're sitting there. I go, we ain't been here in a couple months. And my daughter goes, oh, they pissed you off? They did something wrong? I'm like, no, food's always great. Service is always great. I don't know why. My wife goes, are you gonna let the stay-at-home mom give you a marketing lesson, Mr. Restaurant Guy? I go, apparently. What do you mean? She goes, it's your fucking car. She goes, you drive the Lambo to work every day. You don't drive it down 42. You get on 75, and I see how fast you go. You're an idiot. And then you go to your office. You have stopped driving by barleycorns. And what I'm trying to tell you is barleycorns failed to retain my attention. The only way they were reaching me was me driving by their sign. And yes, they have great food. They have great service. I've been eating there since the 80s. Who in here has been eating at a restaurant since the 80s every week? Probably not many people. I ate there the other day. I took my buddy who came in from Greece there. We went to Miami for 5 days for business. I flew him here to show him Vegas. I then flew him home. He stayed with me for 5 days. The first place we went home was Barleycorns because it's my favorite buffalo wing. They retained my business because I was driving by them. They suck at email. They suck at social media. And they do no paid targeted advertising to reach me. I live and work right next to the restaurant. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Attract, build, retain. And you have to keep it as like a big circle. So there's 5 restaurant marketing funnels I talked about yesterday. In-store, online, inbox, social media, community. The first one, in-store. You must train your people on everything you do marketing-wise. I went to Texas Roadhouse last week with my daughter. Another one of her favorites. She comes home, she's like the queen. She comes home from college and we eat where she wants to eat. We go to Texas Roadhouse. We sit down. They almost won my heart over. She goes, hey, by the way, here's a contest we're doing. She hands me their red envelope promotion. I look, I go, oh, sweet. What's this all about? I don't know. What do you mean? It's just, we're supposed to give them everybody that sits down. Oh, are you new here? No, I've been here 3 years. She goes, I guess I just don't pay attention. I go, that's not your fault. That's your manager's fault. It's your owner's fault. That you don't know what the hell this promotion's doing. You have to train your people. The Walking Dead. The reason I got that up there is we had a client of ours, Quaker Steak and Lube. They had 3 locations in Cincinnati area. The Coleraine location, BJ and Diana were crazy fanatics of The Walking Dead. Loved it. Their bartenders loved it. So they came up with an idea that, hey, Sunday nights suck. Let's do a Walking Dead night where we watch The Walking Dead at the restaurant, wear your Walking Dead gear, come in and watch it, and have some fun with us. They were freaks about Walking Dead. So every single day you walked into that place, somebody in that bar and restaurant area was going to ask if you liked The Walking Dead. And they were going to invite you. It did 4K every Sunday night to watch a show. And I used to argue, like, I think it's probably illegal that you're making money off a TV show, but who knows? So then, of course, Bob and Kathleen at Milford and Florence were like, Matt, because we did all their marketing, we need Walking Dead night. I said, that's cool, we can do it. I can market it. We can run ads targeting people that like Walking Dead on Facebook. They'll see that you're having Walking Dead night, but it will fail. Why? Do you watch Walking Dead? No? There you go. You're not going to promote it. Oh, we'll do it. So we put a SOP together. We walked through how BJ and Diane dominate Walking Dead night. We put it in place. 4 months later, Florence and Coleraine were doing $300 to $400 a night on Sunday nights. Nobody in the bar gave a shit. There was nobody trained on it. They wore Walking Dead shirts every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Coleraine because they wanted to remind people. They knew if somebody saw the Walking Dead shirt, oh, Walking Dead, I love that guy. When that guy got bashed in the head with the baseball bat with the nails in it, remember that? It's kind of freaky. The ask, next one. So I guess wrap that up, training. If you're going to do promotions, talk to your people about them. They should know about them. Anybody watch the NFL? You ever seen a time when the NFL, when the quarterback turns around, they hand the ball off and the running back's not there? Doesn't end well. That is your non-trained promotions. The next is the ask. Please get the vocabulary right. Quit asking how you're doing. When somebody walks in your restaurant, have you been here before? No, I've not. Then, oh shit, dude, that means you're not in our VIP program. We gotta solve that problem, homie. Get them to take the next step. Oh, I come in all the time. Oh, well, then of course you're in our VIP program. No, I'm not. What? I'm sure you want a free pizza your next visit. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, let's talk. Oh, I am. Okay, great. What's your favorite thing on the menu? Like, engage people. Always have an ask. Your POP, your point of purchase. Go back to Quaker Steak and Lube. We're sitting there about a year into it. They had this corporate branding standard where they came in, they have all these cool stickers and posters all over the place. After about 3 to 4 months, their background noise. They were the same. I actually went in the restaurant. I'm not making this up. I went into the restaurant about a year ago. The same skillet cookie circular disc that Matt Platt printed 8 years ago and hung with fish wire from the drop ceiling. I thought it was so cool. You couldn't see the fish wire. I thought it was genius. Turned out everybody does it. We're still hanging there. I can guarantee your customers quit seeing it. So your point of sale has to be consistently changed. Don't be a cheap ass. Get new table toppers. Get new posters in the bathrooms. And please, on posters, do not put tape on the corners. I want to egg your house if I come by and see that. Double-sided tape behind it, hide the tape, make it look clean. Make sure it has a call to action. If you're having a Walking Dead night, have a QR code on there and say, scan here to win your dinner free at Walking Dead night. Always have a call to action. My daughter is a walking fucking call to action, which is why she gets everything she wants. My son is not a call to action. And then branded. Have it branded. Your website, your shirts, your social media, your brochures, your menu should all look the same. There's not many times that you go to Target and don't understand your end target or their website. Which, by the way, do not wear a red mock turtleneck to Target. Before Matt Platt was orange, I had this really cool mock turtleneck. I thought it was cool. Turned out my wife said it looked like shit. She threw it away. But I'm at Target one day, sitting there reading the magazine. This guy walks up and says, hey, where can I find this? I'm like, I don't know. Guy gave me this weird look. And you're like, well, shouldn't you know? I'm like, why the fuck would I know? Well, you work here. I'm like, what makes you think I work here? You're wearing a red turtleneck. I'm like, oh shit. Got rid of the turtleneck there. But be branded. Be constantly changing your stuff. Online. Your website is the second most common place people are going to interact with you. New customers are looking to see what all the excitement's about. What's it, Main Street grounds? Main ground. People will be looking like, what's all the hype about? They're going to go to the website. They should be able to figure out what's going on. But more importantly, you should be bribing them to give you their information. 9 out of 10 restaurants, only way they gather customer data on their website is through online ordering. Not everybody that visits your website buys your shit. Every one of you that visited that QR code, the majority of you probably didn't buy what was on the next page. But guess what I got? I've got your data. I can call you, I can email you, I can text you, I can probably come to your restaurant and have a conversation with you. Next leads me to the next part, pixel and retargeting ads. Dustin hit me up about a month ago, I think. Hey, let's get together when you're in town. Get to town, let's go to dinner. He messaged me, hey, where do you want to hit? Found some restaurants. Is this the restaurant we're going to? What's it called, Primal? I think it was what it's called, Primal. Yeah, I called it Cannibal on accident. That apparently means something different. So I'm like, cool, we're going to Primal. Told Peter, told Bruce, told Shaheen. What did I do? What do you do when you're going to a restaurant you've never been to in a foreign city? Check them up, right? I want to see this place had. So where do I check on somebody? Go on their website. I Googled it, found their website. So there's our message. Thank God we didn't say anything inappropriately. Scrolling through it. There's the website that I visited. Checked it out, looked around. Guess what happened on Facebook? I got retargeted. The only way they were able to retarget me was because I visited their website. That reinforced my belief in where we were going. I'm like, this place looks fire. It's the same with your restaurant. Who does catering? I can promise you people are looking you up on your website, looking at your catering. Imagine what would happen if 20 minutes later they're on the toilet and they're scrolling through Facebook and there is that's the place. Because most people don't book catering right away. They look at it, they analyze, look at 3 plates. Who does weddings? People, the mother-in-law, the moms, whoever, go down there, go to the wedding venue, and they walk in. If I'm a restaurant, I've got a pin dropped. We do this for a place called Wooden Paddle. They're a member, right? Wooden Paddle? Bree and Jonathan. We have a pin dropped on every wedding facility in their area. Mile radius. When somebody is in that mile, they're going to get retargeted with an ad about having their wedding catered. We also retarget people who visit their website to look at wedding stuff with an ad about weddings. Nobody's going to your website going, that's where the wedding's going to be. We're going to cater right now. They're researching. And none of your competitors are retargeting. This right here is exactly how you do that. So retargeting ads. I'm going to show you a couple more in a minute. Up to date. I cannot tell you how many websites up to date. I visited one 2 weeks ago, and guess what they had on a pop-up instead of an opt-in? COVID protocol. I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm in Kentucky. That shit was over in the summer of 2020. Maybe California, it went 2021. But I don't think it's anywhere now. I mean, I think Fauci gave up on it. So if your website is not up to date, you look like a dumbass. You're ordering. You should have online ordering. I remember the week before COVID hit, I go to a place called Better Blend. It's a smoothie and acai bowl place there. I spend $2,500 a month there. I eat it 5 to 6 days a week because it's a way to keep me from eating stupid shit. Before COVID, I was like, dude, why don't you get online ordering? Because right now, I come here 5, 6 times a week. I walk in, wait in line, place my order. Like, you use Toast. Toast has this online ordering, and there's a couple apps you could probably use. That way I can order my shit, drive up, grab it, and leave. Nah, we're not doing that. COVID hits. Who's his first call? What's that online ordering shit you're talking about? A day later, had it up. Now I think 70% of his business is ordered through his website and picked up. His lines are no longer long. The orders are correct. 2 weeks ago, I kept getting too much cacao in my acai bowl. And I don't complain about a whole lot. And I'm like, my wife's like, why don't you just tell Isaac they're making your bowl? I'm like, give a shit. It's double cacao. I took it out of my hand, not a big deal. I went and looked at my order history. I was ordering double cacao. So the order was wrong because of my dumbass. Text menu with pictures. Who's got a PDF menu? Good. I was going to punch you. Do. Okay. I won't punch you. You're a woman. No, just kidding. Google cannot see your menu. A PDF menu is is cumbersome to look at. You got to zoom in. It's not found on Google. You need to have a menu on your website that is text, that tells me this is a chocolate covered cookie with s'mores and caramel. You need to have pictures of it. Those are all easy things, and then links that work. I would be willing to bet 50% of the restaurants I go to their websites, I click something, it goes somewhere wrong. Thank God I've only been to one place that went to a competitor's Facebook page, but a lot of you have bad links, including me. On every couple week basis, I go to our websites and click around everywhere because there's bound to be something wrong. Inbox. The easiest place to reach consumers is their phone. The easiest place to reach them in that phone is in their inboxes. Oh shit, who texted me? Email. Everybody's got it. So you should, number one, be getting everybody's email you can possibly get. The number one thing you should ask for from every single person, the lowest hanging fruit, is their email address. The second thing you should get is their cell phone number. Now on email, you should send an email, in my opinion, once every 1 to 2 weeks. And I'll get to a topic here in a minute with segmentation. Text messaging, you should limit to about once per month because there's very, very slim chance you have what I need to land in my inbox next to my wife and kids every single week. Dickie's Barbecue texted me 3 times a day for 8 months. I stayed in the flow just to see when it ended, and it finally ended. And I don't know what dumbass at their headquarters thought it was a good idea to text somebody 3 times a week for like 8 months. But texting is very intrusive. If you're going to use texting, which you should, use it responsibly. Don't text and drive. No, I'm just kidding. But don't over abuse it. And if you're going to text me, it better be fire. Better not be, if I'm on a segmented list about Walking Dead, that makes sense. Don't miss Walking Dead night. If I'm on an entire text list and you text me something random, not there. Quaker Steak and Lube did this. I live in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati. We do not have an NBA team. Cities that don't have NBA teams aren't real big with the NBA. In fact, I think the closest team's like 5 hours away. So in our area, the NBA has very little traction. Quaker Steak and Lube, corporate office, had our text list that I built, got control of it, and sent out a text message for opening day of the NBA season for a Bud Light bucket deal to our entire text list. We had mass opt-outs. Nobody even came in. And I called the corporate office and I said, can I walk you through why I disagree with that strategy? They said, sure, Matt, we'll listen. I said, number one, 65% of our database are females. We're in Cincinnati. Nobody cares about the NBA to begin with. I can promise you our females don't. On top of that, we're in Cincinnati. Nobody cares about the NBA. On top of that, it's the first weekend of the season, and the offer sucked. It was like bucket of Bud Lights, $18 for some lame offer. Like, so you use the medium incorrectly. So if you're going to use texting, be cognizant that it's intrusive. The last part, segmentation. You want to have the ability to segment your audience. The messaging that relates to me, my wife, my daughter, and my son are night and day. You want to have, the first thing I love is new frequent lost. If you can find a way to build your marketing database by asking one simple question, how often do you dine at our restaurant? Never means they're a new customer. Frequently means they're a frequent customer. Every once in a while, they're an infrequent customer. The reason that's important is that if you email me a double points promotion, like I saw Little Italy did double points through Driver the other day. If they email that out to the people that are brand new, do they even know what points are? They ain't never been. If they've not been in 6 months, they don't give a shit about double points. But your frequent customers flock in, which is why the offer did like $9,000 in sales from all the customers. Same thing with a new customer. You need to bribe me. You need to bribe me to come to your place. I drive by Culver's. I've never been to it. It's in between. It's right next to Barleycorns. I have driven by it. I think we figured out the other day like 2,500 times. We were just doing math because somebody said, Matt, are you intentionally not going to Culver's so you can keep talking about not going? And I'm like, no, I've never had the bribe that makes me want to not get the burger I know I'm going to get next door. And so like, they've never bribed me, but I can promise you if Culver's texted me or emailed me or targeted me with a Facebook ad tomorrow and said, here is a 100% free burger, a free concrete, I think they call them, I'd be like, I'd feel stupid not doing it. They've never done it. So new customers, you need to bribe, and then lost customers, you got to hug. Sometimes you got to reach out and say, where the hell you been? We have customers that call their lost customers. Inside of Driver, an alert pops up that says missing. Here's their name, their phone number, their email, their last visit, their lifetime stats. Pick up the phone. Who in here has employees that don't work at certain points during the day? Exactly. Pick up the phone. Male or female? It's a big one. Shit that relates to my wife doesn't relate to me. Same with you. And then the last one, categories. Steinmaster's Walking Dead. One of our clients, anybody heard of the brand Hofbrauhaus out of Munich? So we handled Hofbrauhaus, Columbus. You guys are in Columbus. I launched all their marketing. Columbus, Newport, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. And Newport was getting their ass kicked on Monday. This is back probably, let's say 2014, 15. Nick Ellison, the owner, comes to me and says, Matt, we're losing money on Mondays. Makes sense. Beer drinking at lunch is taboo now with corporate America. You know, it's Monday, it's the slowest day. If we could get $400 to $600 more in sales on Mondays, it would prevent me from losing money and get out of my mind wanting to close on Mondays. Because I know if I close on Mondays, now I got to change my marketing that we're not open every day. And I don't want to do that. I said, okay. I said, let's come up with an idea. So I got an idea, Nick. He's like, what do you got? So I got Menu Mondays. What is that? That's for every Monday from 5 to 7, we're going to do a free sampler of menu items. Come in, no strings attached, free sampler. Because when you come to Hofbrauhaus, you drink beer. And when you drink beer, you order food because you get hungry. So we're going to do that. He goes, okay, cool. We're going to hit everybody. I go, no, I'm going to take the Steinmaster list. At that point, Newport had about 275 Steinmasters that paid $125 a year to have their mug at the restaurant and to get discounts. He said, why only them? I said, because they're our easiest, lowest hanging fruit. Those alcoholics will come here for anything. And so we did it. I took the list, I divided it into 4, and I rotated so they didn't get hit with it. So every 5 weeks, that batch of Steinmasters got invited to their night on Menu Mondays, and we rotated the menu offering. It got up to like $4,800 within 2 months every Monday. And he was like, I'm blown away. I said, dude, this is anybody, if I want to, how do I say this politely? I'll say it this way. If I want to get laid, I'm going to go to my wife of 29 years. They wanted to sell food on Mondays. They went to the Steinmasters who drink there 3 days a week. It's the same analogy. Okay, here we go. Some examples. I saw this in my inbox yesterday. Free cookie. Hell yeah. Then I look at the offer, free cookie with a $5 purchase. Who do you think is driving to a restaurant, getting the free cookie? Like, fuck yeah, I just screwed them. I'm out. I'm not buying wings. Nobody in their right mind is going to make the effort to go to a restaurant, park, walk in, get the cookie, then skirt. Get rid of the $5 purchase bullshit. It's not going to work. We've seen this with clients. We've tested it, A/B tested it. We did free appetizer with purchase. We got 30% more people opted into the promotion that had no strings attached. And we had an $8 higher average check than the people that also did the other way. On top of that, we had only 8 out of 100 people would get the free appetizer and spend under $10 at the restaurant. So if you're going to give people an offer, give them the best offer possible. Free cookie with a $5 put. What does a cookie cost? I don't know this shit. Who's the smartest guy in here with cookie costs? What's a chocolate chip cookie cost? 20 cents? Huh?
15 if it's not organic.
15 cents if it's not organic? Okay, so depends out, that's what she said. So get rid of that. Social media. Own one platform first. We made this mistake about 2 years ago. I tried to get David and Peter and somebody else on my team we're going to dominate Matt Plapp on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. And we got no success anywhere. We finally stopped and said, where do we think we can have the biggest impact? And it was Instagram Reels. Let's create all of Matt's content for Instagram Reels, and then we will put it other places, and we'll pick up the pieces when it happens there. Dominate one place. In Cincinnati area, we have this thing called the Ohio River. There are 4 bridges that go over top of it. Imagine if all 4 of those bridges were half built. Nobody would get to Ohio. Nobody would get to Kentucky. It's the same thing with your marketing. Dominate a platform. And where I would start if I was all of you would probably be Facebook. My daughter is 22. She's a college cheerleader. She is the typical TikTok kid. She still is on Facebook every day. She's not on there as much. It's more like reading headlines. She's on Instagram like every 23 seconds, I think. Heart and shit. The other day, she's just like going through heart. I'm like, what are you doing? Like heart and showing love. I'm like, you didn't read the post. What if that said like, death to all people with beards? Sorry, brother, you're done. But they're on the platform. Targeted ads, I'm gonna show you here in a second. You have the ability to target anybody, anywhere, for any freaking reason. On your left is MGM Rewards. I used to do seminars 5 years ago on how bad Las Vegas was at marketing. Las Vegas to me is the easiest place to target. They know when you're here. They know exactly where you're at. They know how long you're here, 3 to 4 days. I never got targeted with ads until the Cosmopolitan started targeting me with Holsteins and is it Egg Slut? I think it's over there. I started getting ads for that a few years ago. I now get hit all the time. Here's 2 ads. The one on the left was me targeted as a potential new customer. The one on the right, Shaheen got yesterday. Why did Shaheen get it yesterday? Don't forget your offer. He's a part of the Front Yards VIP program. Facebook saw that Shaheen was here. He's been pixeled because he already gave them their information. So he got an ad to not forget his offer. By the way, credit for the photo to me. I took this about a year ago. That's Tom, our head of tech. And that's me with those, what are those called? Pork belly bites. They're absolutely insane. But there's an example of targeted Facebook ads. Going after somebody who's not taken an action yet, and then going after somebody who's not taking the action at all after opting in. Content that engages. Your story. Does anybody know the story of the guy that started Arby's? Exactly. Nobody gives a shit. Your local consumers could care less who created the beef and cheddar and that heartburn. But everybody loves the other stories. I love seeing the stories about Avery and his dad and his parents and the grocery store it was and the life that it's taken. Your story inside your 4 walls is very impressive. The problem is you're not telling anybody. Did anybody ever watch the NBA? Okay, anybody ever heard of a guy named Mac McClung? Okay, who doesn't watch the NBA? Okay, I want you to tell you something right now. Do you think that a 5'11" 3/4" white guy like me would win the slam dunk contest a year ago?
Not without a trampoline.
Exactly. Mac McClung did. He's like 6 to 6'1", and he dominated every NBA player, and I think he might have won it twice in a row. And so I always tell my team, act like you're the show me state. That if I tell you Mac McClung won it, you're like, yeah, right. I show you the video of what he can do dunking, you're like, how is that possible? The dude is a trampoline, and he's unbelievable. The problem is, if you don't see it, you don't believe it. People don't know your story. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears. They don't know what it took to get through COVID. They don't know what it takes to make payroll. They don't know what it takes to make the sandwich. You need to tell them. You need to become a reality show. The next part is contest. Consumers love guessing on shit. Let them. Every week you should have a Facebook post that asks them a question. How many donuts are in the picture? How many pounds of dough did we go through this past week? Who's gonna win the Bengals game this week? $25 gift card. I can promise you, I see the worst restaurant social media pages that make simple posts like that and get 20 to 30 guesses. We have a client up in Michigan in the what they call the UP, who consistently gets 1,000 to 1,500 guesses on the stupidest contests. But it's fun. Questions. Ask questions. Hey, it's Matt. You know I own the restaurant. If you were me, what would be a crazy menu item you would make for yourself? People will comment. New Year's is coming up. Last year, my team, and it's funny, sometimes I step out of line and I ask questions without really asking a question. I kind of yell it. And I'm like, whose dumbass idea was this New Year's post that we did for all of our clients about tell me about your New Year's holiday or your New Year plans? I thought it was a terrible post. And they say, hey, Matt, before you ask the question, look at the comments. Every post had like hundreds of comments. So people will answer stuff. We had one that went viral last year with a lot of clients on what's your New Year's resolution? Mother's Day. Here's a picture of me and my mom. Tell me a story about you and your mom in the comments. People will answer questions. So social media, tell your story. But also I'm going to give you a warning. Do not fall in love with the view counter. Most of your content is going to have your mom, your spouse, your employees, and a few people watch it. But you know what? If those few people watch it 365 days a year, it adds up. This is Louis' Waffle House. They're a client of ours up near Chicago. This is a video they made that as of last night was at 954,000 views. It's a 10-second video that simply says, when you forget to pause Easy Cater, Nick and Michael went up themselves and made a catering order at 3 a.m. on Thanksgiving. This thing blew up everywhere. So create stories, tell stories. This is all their reels. You can see 375 views on that one, 963,000 on that one, 4,000 there, 3,700 there, 2,500, 1,400. They got no views a year and a half ago when they started this. And the reason they started this, they became a client of ours, and they told me their story. They're two brothers, they're in their 20s, one dropped out of med school, and one of them is an engineer. They bought their parents' restaurant before COVID, and then bought a Bob Evans that had closed, remodeled it. I'm like, let me get this right. You've got a degree in engineering, and you were like 6 months from a medical degree. Be a doctor, yeah. And you guys started a restaurant, are you morons? Exactly. Tell that story. And they do. They were terrible early on. Now they're freaking geniuses. And they get all sorts. If you go back and look at their videos and reels, all this stuff, they went away from videos, they only do reels now on here and Instagram. If you go back and look at their stuff for 2 years, they had no traction. The way to get traction is to take action. Last but not least, community. Anybody know what the first thing stands for? MINO? Member in name only. Who in here is a part of the Chamber of Commerce and don't show up? That's why it don't work for you. You should not be a minnow in your community. I was on a webinar was it 3 weeks ago, that I was one of the panelists, one of the experts for marketing companies. This guy in Seattle, Washington goes, hey Matt, you won't believe this. I did a webinar last week. This guy named Mike Murphy said he knows you. I'm like, yeah, he owns a magazine in our area. He lives down the street. He goes, what are the odds that Mike Murphy knew who you were? Like, it was like a big world. I'm like, I dominate my region. You know me. I go to grocery stores and people talk to me and I have no clue who they are. And it's weird because there's no benefit for a lot of it, but I market myself everywhere. You have more of a reason to do it as restaurant owners. The high school football coach should know your name. The girls track coach should know your name. The softball coach should know your name. Every one of them should know your name. If I owned a restaurant, every single coach would eat free at my restaurant every week. Because you know who comes with coaches? The assistant coaches. And you know who comes back after that? Their families. I gave this idea to one of our clients. Thought I was crazy. I said, okay, you know what? Maybe I am. I'm a marketing guy. It ain't my money I'm spending for you. Like, just try it. He made the offer to I think it was like four teams, like high school basketball, girls and women, or men's and women's, the football, and I think it might have been band. He said within a couple months, he would see them come in for their meetings after school, and he would see them come back with their spouses for dinner. It works. You should dominate your community. Always be the what? The brand, baby. I take it to an extreme. My wife even supports it. I'm not allowed to have anything orange in my house. She owns the house. That's her playground. But you know what? The scrunchie in the shower is orange and blue. Our dog's collars are orange. She puts little touches because she knows I like the brand. But outside of that, my office, my shoe game, I think I'm up to like 42 pair of orange shoes now. Just got these a couple weeks ago. Always be the brand. Your car, your underwear, your jacket. Another reason it's important is it reminds you what you're doing and why. My ring is my MP initials. My keychain on my car keys back in my bag is my MP. It reminds me to quit being a little bitch and run harder. Be your brand. Become the show. You need to be the show. What took over normal TV 20 years ago? Reality TV. Reality TV is now on the phone. Avery is reality TV. Avery did not do shit on video 3 years ago. Now you can't get the guy not to be on video. He was in Kroger walking through for 40 minutes on Facebook Live to give out gift cards with this guy they call the mayor, this old dude in their neighborhood. He's an author, right? Yeah. He write a book? I didn't know. He reminds me of like a character from Seinfeld. Yeah, and that video, I was on it and commented. I was watching. I watched to see, because he was like, you got to come find us. If you're in the area, walk up on me and I'll give you a coin. It's good for a free pizza. Yeah. And next thing you know, after it was like 26 minutes in, there it is, 28:24. Somebody walked up after they saw some banana on the ground. She's like, hey, we're here. We want our coin. Become the show. This is a place called Bluebird Cafe. This is a little different. This isn't their news feed. This is Hugh's real estate team. They did a funny video saying they were selling the restaurant building. And it was a little kind of a play on, what do you call that? A little, practical joke. So it was like that. They weren't selling the restaurant. 8,200 views. And it's a funny ass video. It was a realtor. He's always taking the community, putting the story of the owner, having some fun, being viral. Things that you can do to become the show. Spotlights. That was a spotlight of a realtor. Who in here within 2 miles of your business has other businesses? Trick question, all of you. Buc-ee's. I love beaver nuggets. Those are kill you. Spotlight those businesses. Every week, invite somebody from your community in, go Facebook Live, and say, hey, I'm here, we're eating pizza. This is Mike. He owns an insurance agency. Mike, tell me what's new in insurance. Sounds like a boring ass job. Yeah, it is. Talk about it. Auto repair shop, massage parlor. What do you sell? You said beer, right? Mm-hmm. What else?
Fine dining, whiskey. We've got a whiskey bar.
Okay. Do you do pizza?
High-end tequila. No.
Okay. Interview the pizza place. Find your favorite. You have a favorite pizza? Maybe you don't like the guy. Find somebody else. Do a Facebook. Your customers eat at many restaurants every week. They're not your enemy. They're your community. Events. You should be doing events. I watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade on YouTube on a guy that does walking tours, live stream. Not on NBC, not on ABC, not on CBS, on YouTube TV, on a dude walking around that was fun as shit. You could have done it. Who in here has events near them? Two of my employees, Katie and Ainsley, did the turkey trot Thursday morning. It left from the parking lot of a restaurant, and the restaurant was not live talking about the fucking turkey trot. How was that possible? I would have live streamed the whole thing, and as people come across, like, there it is, Bib 82, 82, come here, what's your name? Katie, how'd you do today? It's not rocket science. And then collaborations. Black Friday. You could have went to 50 companies in your area and said, hey, what's your Black Friday promo? Give us a gift card to give away, we're gonna hype it. People are on social media to be social. It doesn't always have to be about your food. Make it about them. Make them experience it. Last not least, the reminder, lead, market, sell. If you're not doing this stuff, your team won't do it. If Avery would have heard from Matt Plapp and told his team, hey guys, I know I'm not active on Facebook. I know I don't do any of this stuff, but I think you should, Mallory. She'd be like, well, what the fuck, you're not doing it? Lead from the front. His employees now do it because they see their leaders doing it. Market your business at every turn. It is your job to market and then sell whatever the hell you're cooking. Sell your food, sell your vision, sell your mindset. That's all I got. DSP, you're up. And last not least, who wants DSP's dollar?
That's my dollar.
Huh? Plus, I mean, she wore orange for me.
Bullshit.
Hey.
I highly recommend you get into all the free resources they have. Marketing is extremely important. Remember we played chicken egg? You've got to market. You've got to market. And the truth of the matter is, learn what you're supposed to do, then you can identify what service you need that can do it for you. You do not have all the time. But as restaurant owners, what are your jobs? Marketing, budgeting, leading your team, developing your managers, holding them accountable, moving the company forward, working strategically on your business. Marketing is in the top 2 things you're supposed to be doing, period. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. And if any of you want to talk, you got my cell, call me up. I'll have a meeting with you. I don't sell shit for the company. So if you want to talk to me, I'll give you whatever I've got, 100%, give you advice, good, bad, ugly. I'll refer you to people that might be able to help you. If we can help you, I'll give you honest advice on it. And then last not least, that course I showed you earlier, the Ultimate Restaurant Marketing Plan, like, have one of your employees in it. It's a membership. You can have 20 people in it. If you got every one of you have hostesses, bartenders, servers that are on their phone all the time. Give them a reason to get on their phone for you. That's all I got. See y'all.
Okay.